What was it like to for HOTDOCS to actually call you and tell you that they were going to focus on you, and then how did that feel? And I'm pretty sure that was quite the experience.
That was an amazing moment when I heard that the retrospective that they were going to show my films, and actually I started crying. I was so overwhelmed with emotion. Yeah.
But I guess you looked back into what you've done, especially here in Toronto, as a filmmaker, as a documentarian. But I guess you right now you're enjoying the fruits of your labor, so to speak, and getting for them focusing on you. But now tell us, what projects did you look back when you received this message that they were going to focus on you, and was there certain films that you look back and you say, hey, maybe they looked at that, or?
Well, a number of the films have shown at HOTDOCS before, but this is the 20th anniversary of our film Erotica, Journey into Female Sexuality, which did show at HOTDOCS, and it's actually quite a thrill to be showing that again. Another film, Dish, Women Waitressing in the Art of Service, was shown here a couple of years ago, and I'm currently in production with a film called The Heat about women chefs who are ascending the ranks of male-dominated kitchens, which is a little bit of a follow-up to Dish, so we're going to be showing some clips from the new film after the Dish screening.
What are you actually teaching the young filmmakers when you're actually here? What did you want to actually tell them? Because it was probably a lot different from when you first started.
Well, I think largely what has changed is that my films have mainly focused on telling stories of women and sometimes LGBTQ stories, and the reason for that has been because when I looked at films, I didn't see a lot of representation. What I saw was very stereotypical and limited. So at Red Queen Productions, we really focused on what we felt were marginalized stories. I'm happy to say that that is changing. My focus is still an interest in women's stories, because I think there is so much to be expressed that hasn't been expressed yet. So I hope that my films will speak to many people and perhaps inspire people in the way that I've been inspired by films. But the reality is, just because I'm the subject of a focus on, I'm still learning and growing, and I think that we all can learn from each other in some way. Mm.
What do you feel about most of the film festivals? Now they're focusing a lot on women filmmakers, making it a focus on their film festivals, not only at HOTDOCS, but a lot of the other film festivals here in Toronto.
Well, I think that the story of women is in the zeitgeist, and I'm happy about that. In fact, I'm making a film that I have in development is called A Female Gaze, in which I'm interviewing international women filmmakers about representations of women and how it's revealed on the screen. So I'm heartened that that dialogue is in the conversation, and as we talk about representation and inclusivity, it's time. I mean, as you know, to paraphrase Justin Trudeau, it's now 2017.
Right.
So it's fantastic that HOTDOCS and other festivals and other programmers and other funding bodies are making a point of inclusivity, and I think that's going to make a big difference for future generations, because we need to see all of ourselves on screen. We need to see all of our stories on screen. Yeah.
Can you briefly describe the story when you first picked up a camera to put together your first film or your first documentary?
My first film, my first documentary was called Elizabeth Smart on the Side of the Angels, about a Canadian poet. I had applied for Canada Council grants, and it was just so overwhelming and exciting, but I felt that I was the only person who could make that film, that somehow I had been chosen to make that film. And that's the kind of belief that you have to have, that intense passion and dedication to keep going and just know that I'm the one to tell this story, and that's still something that I have to find within myself with each film. I have to look deep inside and explore, am I the person to tell this story? Am I the best person to tell this story? So that's something that has never left me, but it was very, very very exciting. Of course, I didn't know what I was doing at the time, and I was working in a form called docu-fiction, which is a mix of drama and documentary. So I was kind of breaking all the rules, and it was great. I returned to that form with another film called The Mystery of Maison de la Roche. So HOTDOCS has very cleverly programmed my two docu-fiction films together this year, so people can kind of look at how things have evolved.
I don't know. Do you feel that it's easier for the younger Toronto filmmakers to get in their production, to make their films as to when you first started out, or do you feel that this platform like HOTDOCS actually opens the door for a lot of emerging young filmmakers?
Well, I think certainly there is a lot of interest in emerging filmmakers. Whether it's easier or harder, I can't say, because each film that one is making is somewhat like pushing a boulder up a hill, but at the same time there are lots of opportunities that people can explore, and obviously technology has changed, so cameras are smaller and cheaper, and people can make films with their cameras, you know. So in that sense, it has certainly become much more accessible to a lot of people. Mm-hmm.
Well, thank you so much for your time, and congratulations on being the focus here at HOTDOCS.